in the locker room. Coach like assaulted me with a chair really badly. I just thank God the police were there. The campus police were there, and they busted in the locker room. They took me to the police station, and I never played another game of college basketball in my life. When you see somebody open that's like really far away on the other side of the court, we throw like what we call a baseball pass or a chest pass over the defense. But because of my dyslexia, I could see angles that other people couldn't see. And instead of throwing a traditional pass that everyone was expecting, threw the ball behind my back in between the defenders all the way to the other end of the court. My teammate caught it and he dunked it in, and the place went crazy. Yeah, did you see what that Jewish kid just did? What an amazing pass. And then coach called me in and he's like, look, if you want to stay and play here, you can, you have a scholarship, but based on how we see things moving forward, you're going to have to play on Saturday if you want to play here. And I said, Coach, look, I love this team. It's my dream team, but for Jewish people, Shabbat, Sabbath is more important than basketball.
Yeah,
Gave back the
non-negotiable.
scholarship. I was so broken. I quit basketball. I looked in my closet like I didn't want to wear anything with basketball. My identity, everything was emotionally, like I was shattered, but I always knew God was there. I was just hurt, really hurt. I said, God doesn't want me to play anymore. Like I've tried everything and I physically can't play anymore. Like I've tried everything, every surgery, every physical therapy, everything. And she just gave me the greatest message ever. She said, don't worry, you're gonna do the same thing, but you're just gonna be wearing a different uniform. The only message that I pretty much ever heard from her from the Holocaust was that before she passed away, she said, don't think that I don't remember what I went through. I know every single thing and I still feel the pain every single day, but I choose to be happy.
Welcome to No Reservations, the most exclusive table in the world, where nothing is off limits. Each week, against the backdrop of the Western Wall, where heaven and earth meet, we invite a guest who's made big, bold, beautiful, life-changing choices and is finally ready to talk about why. Our guest today is Tamir Goodman. Now, if you only know him by his nickname, the Jewish Jordan, then you don't know the man. Because the moment Tamir became a novelty, the world stopped letting him be a person. They wanted a headline, a symbol, a neat little story that makes everyone feel inspired and then move on. But that's not what happened. What happened is that a kid who loved basketball walked into a system that didn't know what to do with him. As a result, he started getting pulled in every direction all at once. He was offered everything, the most coveted scholarships, dream contracts, the kinds of opportunities you aspire to your entire life and assume you'd do anything to keep. But as an observant Jew, Tamir quickly learned that open doors came with conditions, and he refused to compromise. Because for him, success was never about just getting in the room. It was about staying himself once he got there. You'll hear the moment everything changed. One pass, one blink of an eye moment at basketball camp that turned him from, why are you even here, into 7 Division I offers. That's the part that people love to retell. But that's not the reason I brought him on as a guest. He's here to share what happens when it's all taken away. I'm not going to tell you what happened or who did it or what it felt like to never play another college game after that. You're going to hear it all from Tamir himself. So sit with me, get comfy, and lean in. Because today on No Reservations, you're going to meet Tamir Goodman, not the myth, but the man himself. And if this conversation moves you, if it ignites you, if it inspires something inside you, then please like, subscribe, comment, and share. It helps us grow this beautiful community and bring stories like Tamir's to the world. This is No Reservations. This is Tamir Goodman. Welcome, Tamir Goodman, to No Reservations.
So great to be here. Thank you so much.
All the good stuff happens, by the way, off camera. You gave your gut reaction. So if we could rewind and do a take 2, as we call it in the industry. Pretend we just sat down. What did you say when you saw this?
Absolutely, unbelievably unimaginable.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. And thank you. Thank you so much.
It's crazy. So I used to work in Times Square at HBO and CNN when I thought was the center of the world. And now I'm like, no, this is the center of the universe.
There is no place in the world like this. This is the greatest of the great. So it's absolutely unbelievable to be here.
Yeah, and it's where heaven and earth meet and God's presence never left. I know you take lots of groups around Israel, Jewish, non-Jewish, religious, not religious. How do you explain the significance of the Western Wall to them?
I think it's so amazing that it does it itself. I always tell them you're just bringing your soul home and they feel it. And I've brought some NBA guys here, and you can't even like pull them away because their soul just connects to the wall and they feel right at home. It feels so organic. So I think don't really need to do a lot of explaining it.
So I want to talk first about the snack that you chose today. So basically, like fresh vegetables.
Yes.
I added a little hummus and peanuts for myself, but you wanted like just fresh, plain veg and plain water. So tell me why.
Thank you. I just think some basketball things never leave you,
Yeah.
and it's like the way you eat is basically the way you're gonna play, and you have to understand that. And like when my coach used to say, like your body is your resume. Like it's when you play basketball, you want to be able to get to the game with maximum amount of power, and then when the game's over, you want to be able to recover as well as possible, and of course the hydration. So
Yeah.
these are things that on a physical level, like, last my whole life. There's things because I was raised in basketball and I play, like, it just stays with you forever, but, like, spiritually too, I think it's just, like, something about, like, understanding, like, the power of food and to be mindful of what you're eating, how you're eating, and when you're eating so that, like, you could uplift the food and uplift your body and go ahead and be a better person. I feel like if you eat the right way, you're more likely to perform better on the court, but also like spiritually and emotionally maybe be a better person. So that's why I'm very careful with like what I eat and how I eat and when I eat. And I think this is like the best eating salads, like in the
At the
holiest
Western
place in the
Wall,
world.
right?
Yeah.
So
So
correct. The
yeah,
the freshest, most natural vegetables in the holiest place in the world.
exactly.
My gym teacher, Mrs. Bronstein, I hope maybe she'll see this. She used to have on the wall in grade school, "You are what you eat." And I
Yes.
remember that like forever. So it's so funny that you're bringing that back to the forefront.
Yeah, and every player is different, you get to know your body and ultimately like if you eat the right way, you're putting yourself in a situation to play better
Yeah.
and maximize your potential. I think
Right.
that's what it's
I
about.
think it's true for the game of life also, right?
100%,
Because not
like
all of us are, professional basketball players.
yeah, I think, like, every day you wanna win the day,
Yeah.
and every day you wanna try to reach your potential, and eating is a really big part of that, in my opinion,
Right.
and I also feel like having a set schedule is a very big part of that because life could get so, like, overwhelming,
Yeah.
but, like, if you have, like, your prayer schedule and your eating schedule and maybe your workout schedule,
Yeah.
it should be pretty good, at least for me, I know, like, no matter what, I need to wake up super early and get my prayer in
Yeah.
and my eating the right way and, my workout in, and, like, I feel like once I have that, I should be able to handle some of the challenges throughout the day better,
Yeah.
and it also makes me a much better father and husband for sure, 'cause I feel like I'm ready to win the day instead of
Yeah.
the day controlling me.
So, it's so interesting. I didn't grow up religious. I found, observant lifestyle later in my life. And so formal prayer was never like part of my daily ritual routine. So it's been hard. As a woman, I always use my words and pray to God with tears and like, with scream and with love, like all throughout the day.
Right.
But this like formal time for prayer. So I started to take on the morning prayers and I find the days that I'm like, either rushing to it or didn't quite get to it yet,
Right.
or like, I'm at least nervous that maybe I won't get to it. I find my heart like beating faster. I find myself much more at ease and calm when I've had that moment like to do my morning prayers.
100%. Like, again, consistency and time management and
Yeah.
having the prayer is great. I actually also, like, pray throughout my entire workout in the morning, like, cause
Really?
yeah, like, I feel like closest to God through movement, like, I've always felt my closest to God on the basketball court and through working out, and I also get, like, my best ideas and concepts, like, through movement. So I feel like in Judaism, it's, like, a really big, like, idea of, like, uplifting the physical, and there's,
True.
like one of my hardest, like, exercises is a crazy thing, I don't know why I'm saying this, like
Tell us.
alright, yeah,
This
so
is
it's
where you
like
tell everything in No
yeah, so I, like,
Reservations.
love the TRX, like, I don't know if people
Yeah.
know what it is, like, these bands, yellow bands. So, like, in the morning, like, I do a handstand, and the TRX is, like, holding up my legs, I'm, like, upside down, and for some reason, that's, like, my holiest part of the day. I feel like my entire body, everything is, like, I'm giving over to God right now,
Wow.
and that's how I started the day, and but so I do agree, like, it's so important to have, like, the set
Yeah.
standard prayer, but, like, for me, I guess coming from the basketball background, it's, like, always kind of happened through movement, so I always feel my closest to God, like, when I'm working out in the morning.
Right. So I know that you started basketball pretty young, but you weren't born on the court, right? So do you think this whole like very regimented lifestyle of yours was in your nature prior, or basketball really is what brought it, to life for you and what brought it to fruition?
Wow, that's such a great question. I think I was almost born on the court because I loved it so much at such a young age, like, loved basketball, and I still do, and
Right.
I'm gonna love it the rest of my life. Like,
Yeah.
I remember one of my teachers saying when I was in 4th grade saying, "You can't do something too much. If you do it too much, you're gonna get, tired of it." And
Right.
I remember raising my hand in 4th grade and saying, "I'm never gonna get tired of basketball," and so far I'm right, and I don't
Wow.
think I'm ever gonna get tired of basketball. I love it. Um, but what happened with me is that I had a coach at a really young age. So I don't know if you saw Karate Kid
Yeah, for
or
sure. Wax on, wax off.
exactly Mr. Miyagi or Rocky with Mickey.
Yeah.
So like you have like these incredible coaches and trainers who believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And the Torah even tells us, find for
Right.
yourself a mentor,
Yes.
because you just reach such a much higher level of potential.
Do you
So
want to
I
shout
had
out the name of your coach?
Coach Katz.
I was hoping it was Israel's father.
That's right.
So we
It
work here
is
with
his
Rabbi
father.
Israel Katz here at Aish, and he's like, you don't understand. Samir's like my brother. Like my father's like
Exactly.
his coach. Like in the PJ library book, there's a picture of my father. So
Yeah.
okay, good.
I'm almost 44.
Yeah.
I
Until 120, you should
Yeah,
be
that's
healthy
about
and
to
well.
God willing. I think coach started working with me when I was 6,
Wow.
and
That is young to discover talent on the court.
I think we probably talk 2 to 3 times a day still,
Wow.
and I
I
love
so you're like
him
a triplet, like Israel, his brother, and you.
basically. And coach just taught me how to pick myself up at a really young age and time management and regiment. And he always used to say, like, you don't have to do this, but if you want to do it and you want to reach your dreams here, you're
Yeah.
going to have to be able to do A, B, C, and D.
Right.
And what a blessing that has been for me in my life and continues to be because I was raised differently than anybody else I know
Right.
because of him. And had I not grown up with him, there is no way I would have been able to accomplish what I did on the
Right.
court. And it's so divinely ordained that we live so close to each other. And then he also coached my older brother, and that's how I
Wow.
got to him, and we're inseparable. But there's been so many moments in my life, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, that everything I know is from coach,
Right.
basically. So
So can you break down some of that? Because people look at you and they think, what a blessed life, And then you do have a blessed life, more blessings than we could count or enumerate right now. But
right,
you've referenced more than once picking yourself up, the emotional, physical
right.
challenges and strains, the challenges of the day. You've been through some tough things.
Yeah, I'll just give a couple of examples, like with coach, that really helped me at a young age. Um, the first one was like with my dyslexia,
Yeah.
just really struggling at school. And I told coach about it, and I started doing my homework at his house.
Were you diagnosed, by the way, right away, or was there a time that they weren't
No,
sure?
just first going with a lot of tutors, and it
That's
wasn't really
so
working.
hard.
So I would watch film at his house, like not just practice basketball. He would teach me how to watch the game. I used to go over his house and watch film, and then started doing my homework there. And I just remember him saying something so nice. He said, "Write as you talk, and I'll come down there and check it."
Uh-huh.
And that just was very calming for me. He
Right.
didn't say like whatever. He just said it in a way that made me feel pretty comfortable. So
Uh,
just write as you talk, and then I'll come down and check. And that's how I started doing my homework, and
right.
he made me feel a little more comfortable. So that was like, I would say, one of the first ones. The second one was that, I don't, these aren't just coming to my brain right now. Like, I had a really bad shooting night when I was like 16 maybe. And at that time I already had so much media following me,
Yeah. It's a lot of
a
pressure.
lot of pressure, and I didn't want to face the media after the game because I shot really poorly. And I said, "Look, let's go out the back door and let's just go home." And he said, "You can't do that." I was 16. I'm like, "What do you want me to do?" He's like, "Go face the media."
I'm
He's like, "If you
covered in chills.
Yeah, he's like, "You gotta if you talk to them after you play well, you gotta be able to talk to them when you play poorly." And I said, "What should I say?" He said, "Go up there, tell them I played poorly tonight. I gotta get back in the gym and get better." So when I was 16 years old, I went in front of, it was probably national media, and I said, "I'm sorry, I shot poorly tonight. I need to get back in the gym and get better." And, already at that age, I learned how to like teach myself through basketball. You got to get the next one. You
Yeah.
mess up, you play poorly, whatever it is, you gotta raise your hand, say, "I'll get back in the gym and I'll get the next one." And it's one of the greatest messages in my life. And then I would say like one more message that I would that I really like learned from Coach is that like he really, really, really respected his wife
Mhm.
so much.
That's
And
one of the
like,
things that helped me fall in love with Judaism, by the way, seeing those relationships.
yeah. And like we would play poorly or we were long road trips or who knows what was going on. And when as soon as he called home to his wife, and I just said, God willing, when I get married one day, like I'm gonna respect my wife like crazy, like Coach does.
Wow.
And so like those are just some of the millions of messages I've learned about him throughout the years. But time work, you know, time management, preparation, communication, never letting society dictate what you can or cannot do.
Yeah.
I remember like I literally remember crying on the court, crying, 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 and him saying, "Look, let's just go home then if you don't want to do it." And I said, "I don't want to go home." And he said, "If you don't want to get home, don't want to go home, then you're gonna have to pick yourself up. You're gonna have to learn how to play at the speed.
Yeah.
You know, it's like constantly being and like get in your non-comfort zone.
Right.
Like, can you thrive in a non-comfort zone?" And that's what Coach taught me at a really young age.
Wow. I feel like there's so much to unpack here. I want to clarify one thing that I just said before. I love how you spoke about the coach, or coach, we'll just call him. Um, Honoring his wife and respecting his wife so much. I told you I didn't grow up religious, and I always thought that Orthodox Judaism, like the women were second-class citizens. And when I went to Shabbat tables and saw the relationships between the husband and wives, I was like, that's the type of respect I dream of for myself and my future daughters or my future sons to have for their spouse. So it's something that I love and helped me fall in love with a more observant lifestyle. So I love that he modeled that for you.
It was so great. It was so great, and I, like my wife and I are, gonna God willing celebrating 22 years this summer.
Amazing. We're 21 years, so we're
Yeah.
just behind you.
And she is everything and everything and everything in the
Yeah.
world to me every single second of the day, a billion times over.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that I have her and I was blessed with her and it's like the biggest miracle ever for me. But also that at a young age, I learned from Coach, how to love and respect and honor your wife. And
Yeah.
of course, also from my parents too. But
Yeah.
those are just some of the first initial things we talk about Coach that come to mind for me.
Yeah, so beautiful. And now you're talking about like living in your, how did you call it? Your non-comfort zone?
Yeah. Not being in a comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how do you learn to live that and like love that? Because I just started working out again. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a little secret about me, which you might not have guessed, but I also play basketball. I was captain of the team.
Nice.
And my claim to fame is that um Kobe Bryant, he should rest in peace. His father was my basketball coach.
Wow.
So yeah,
Joe
Kobe,
Bryant.
they lived in, yeah, Joe Jellybean Bryant.
Yes.
So um, I love sports. Grew up playing tons of sports, soccer also. My dad was a great soccer star, so we got that from him. He didn't have any boys, so we just liked to do all
Yeah.
those things. And then for years, I became a mom and, got busy with work and raising the kids. And I like neglected myself. So just now I got back into exercising
Right.
and doing weight training and working out. So I went to 2 days a week and 3 days a week. It's a year in. I still don't love it yet.
Right.
Like, when do you get to the place that you're like, I love it. I can't live without it. Even when I'm uncomfortable and I'm pushing myself, like, I want this. Like, I'm there. I'm just like praying until it's over. And I'm so happy when it's over. But during it and in it, it's like, I'm
Yeah.
just like, I hate every second.
Yeah. I think you just need to start sometimes. I always people say like, what's the hardest drill? The hardest drill is the first one. Because once you start, usually your body starts to say, you know what, this feels pretty good. This feels good for me.
Right.
And let me like start focusing on how that feels. And then hopefully that'll continue to get me back in the gym. But I remember at my retirement press conference, like someone asked me a question like, hey, after we're done here, can we go shoot around? And I was like frozen. I was like, wow, this is, you know what? I never shot around. Like I never casually shot a basketball. Every single time I got on the court, I was trying to get better. I knew how many shots I took, how many I made, how many I missed, like what I need to work on the next day. And so I think like having that mindset might be able to help too of
Right.
like every day trying to get a little bit better. I think I think for a human to like reach their potential is the greatest feeling. I think the saddest feeling in the world is like
Yeah.
looking back and say I didn't reach my potential. So maybe with everything we do, whether it's working out or whatever it is, like how can I try to reach my potential? Maybe that will help with the mindset of being in our non-comfort zones.
That resonates with me so much. One of my prayers for my children every single day is that they should achieve their greatest potential. I don't know what it is. I don't know what exactly is meant for them in their mission in the world, but please, God, let them achieve. I'm saying it here in this holy
Right.
spot.
I
Please, God,
mean,
let them achieve their greatest potential. And for all of us, it's a beautiful blessing.
and I always say, like, after blessing our kids with health and our family, I always say, please give our kids the blessing of resilience, because I feel like that is like God. Everything in Judaism, even this week's Torah portion of Jacob and
Yeah.
all the challenges are about reaching your potential, and somehow we need to like reframe it and say like this challenge isn't coming to like hurt us or to punish us or to say no. It's actually getting us one step closer to our potential.
It's coming out to build us.
It's coming to build us and
Yeah.
stronger, and it's so hard to see that because we can't understand past, present, and future like God sees it.
Yeah.
And there's so many things we think are so perfect for us right now. We
So,
need it right now,
but,
and they may not be, but
right.
because we can't really zoom out.
Yeah.
So then we have to like strengthen, just like we strengthen our body, we have to strengthen our faith muscle.
Yeah, very much. I
And
always say we have to work it out like every other muscle.
exactly.
And I love that you referenced the weekly Torah portion because I say that resilience is built into our Jewish DNA. And we see that from Jacob. You know, his Hebrew name is Yaakov or Israel, and we're B'nai Israel, the children of Israel. And like that, we got that from him. And I always pull, and I know you have a similar story from my grandparents, all four survivors of the Holocaust.
Right.
And you had this Savta, as we say in Hebrew, grandmother.
Yeah.
We learned from them. Every time I feel like I'm not going to make it through this, I think of my grandparents and what they survived. And October 7th is also more recent for those that,
Right.
didn't know the Holocaust survivors and didn't have those precious relationships that we have. Look what they did. I can do anything.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And my grandmother, unfortunately, like it was so painful, the Holocaust, that we still don't know her story. We just know that she survived 2 camps.
Yeah.
The only message that I pretty much ever heard from her from the Holocaust was that before she passed away, she said, don't think that I don't remember what I went through. I know every single thing and I still feel the pain every single day, but I choose to be happy. And that was like, she was just such a hero. Like she literally had the hardest life ever through the savage suffering of the Holocaust. And then she came here to Israel and lost a son at age 16. And she still chose to be happy and to be giving and to be sweet and to be a light for the rest of her life, even though she had all that pain. And like that's like the highest level of humanity, of where like you have so much pain and you could
Yes.
feel it and it's real and you process it,
Yes.
but you still have the ability to say it's there, but I'm gonna choose to be this way. Like that's the transcending. It's like it's the greatest.
First of all, I already have the record number of chills that I've received in this particular conversation than any other, because I feel like I couldn't have scripted it more. I love that you just so eloquently said happiness is a choice. It so much is. And this week I actually spoke about the idea that to be happy and kind and to approach every situation from a place of happiness and kindness, both for the sake of ourselves and for those we interact with, is an ultimate goal. And I
Yeah.
love that you said that about your grandmother.
Yeah, I feel like the greatest biblical story of that is Joseph. Like he's in jail for something he didn't do after a terrible upbringing. But what does he do? He's kind to the butler.
Yes.
Why is someone who's went through so much unfair situation say, "Hey, how you doing today?" And actually by him asking that to the butler, that's what ended up like turning around to being his
Yeah.
biggest blessing. So it's very hard, but
Very.
there's something very powerful about being optimistic, being kind, and choosing to be happy, even if there's a lot of challenging situations. It's like hero style stuff,
Yes.
but it's actually what's best for us
Yeah.
and the people around us.
Completely for both. And it's so critical, both for us. A lot of times we think when we're holding on to the anger, we're punishing someone else, but we're punishing ourselves. And I know that you said it's hard, and I agree with you, it's hard. But once you master it, or even just start it, you don't have to master it. Once you start acting from that place, you're empowered. You feel better.
A
You're more
million
at peace.
percent, a million percent. And to take a basketball analogy, it's like,
We'll go
yeah,
for
it's
a
like a
record number of
basketball
basketball
analogy.
analogies in
Even
this
the greatest
episode.
players in the world
Yes.
always start close to the hoop before the game. And you just start making a lot of shots,
Uh-huh.
close, 3 to 5 feet
Right,
out.
right,
And
right.
once you see yourself making those shots, it already leads to you being able to take further shots and being able to have the muscle memory to like handle the pressure and the situation, whatever's going to happen later on in the game. So we start with close reading. It's like same thing, like you're saying, just give the first smile,
Yeah.
just do one
Give a
kind act,
compliment
give a
instead of,
compliment.
trying to like give a criticism.
Exactly. And you, like you said, you get better at it.
Yes.
You get
It comes
better at it.
easier.
It comes easier. You train that
Yeah.
muscle and
It's
it's
much easier, by the way. I've been exercising this whole happy kind, thing for the last few weeks, I would say. I've been really putting a focus on it, going through some tough times. And it became a much more like habit forming and easier than my workouts. So
there
it's
you
easier
go.
even than the
There you
physical
go.
training.
Yeah, it's I can remember one time being really nervous before a game
Yeah.
and a really famous NBA player, his name was Rod Strickland. He told me I saw him that morning, like at NBA, their NBA shoot around was on the same court with the NBA players, and he said he was going to come watch me play that night.
Really?
And he came back to the game and that night and I was really nervous before the game. It was a really big game, and I saw Coach, and I said, "Coach, you have any last second pointers here?" He's like, "Yeah, didn't Rod tell you he was coming?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, go tell him thank you for coming." I went over to half court.
Super.
I said, "Thank you. It means the world that you came." And I was already totally a different person because I did a good deed. I made someone else smile, and I came back over him, and coach is like, "Good job." He's like, "Don't take any extra dribbles, and you'll be all right." And it really is true. The
But you could
power
receive that, message
after
lesson only after that.
right,
Yeah.
the power of a smile, of a kind word, and it's in our Jewish culture. You should really try to be the first person to even say hi.
Yeah.
Like when I'm on the road, I always try to say hi.
Yes.
Be the first person to say hi. You
Yeah.
know.
Totally. And I love also what coach was saying, also how important it is to thank people. We don't thank people enough, even though we appreciate them.
A million
Yeah.
percent. The first thing I do when I train our players early in the morning, as soon as the custodian walks in, you thank the custodian. Thank
I
you.
love that.
Gym looks great. Good morning. We couldn't be here without you. It's
Yeah.
100% in line with basketball and everything.
Yeah. It's
It's
a
got to
Jewish
be able to say
concept.
thank you. Got to be able to
Hakaras
say thank
Hatov,
you.
the appreciation and the
Huge,
thank you.
huge, huge, huge.
Okay. So Tamir, there was this pivotal pass. And with that one move, it put you on the recruiting circuit. Tell me about it.
Yeah, the first time I ever got invited to an invitational camp, and the way that it works in basketball is you usually get invited to these invitational camps, and then these are like the best high school recruits, and then the college coaches come watch you play, and you would
Yeah.
hope to get a scholarship. My first time at one of these camps, no one was taking me seriously. I got there with my kippah on, my tzitzit,
Yeah.
and my kosher food, and I literally looked like I was lost. One of the players even told me, like, "Did you not know, like, this was invite only? You can't just show up here."
Oh,
And I
to me
decided,
now I
like
want to cry. This is the most emotional part for me. Really? Like, what are
yeah,
you doing here?
exactly. And I said, like, in my brain, no matter what happens, I'm just gonna play at
You just tell me how you
100%.
answer that, by the way. Did you just look down or did you like,
I just put in my brain, like, I'm gonna play hard here. And I'm 100%. I'm just gonna play hard. That's all I could do. But the camp was only 1 week long. And on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday, I realized that, like, it's not really working. I'm not being recruited. Everyone thinks I'm a curiosity. Like,
right,
how did he even get here?
right.
But Tuesday night, I was feeling really hopeless. Like, this was my shot to get a scholarship. I've been working for this my whole life.
Yeah.
And I just said, God, can you please help me? I want to show everybody in this camp Jewish people could play basketball too. And after my little prayer, I went over to my coach and I said, Coach, what court are we playing on tonight? There was 15 outdoor courts. He said, actually, tonight we're playing indoors instead of outdoors, which is very rare. Grab my sneakers and I go inside the gym. And all of a sudden, as the game starts, more and more college coaches are coming into the gym. More and more players are coming in the gym. My coach calls a timeout. He's like, you boys better be ready to play. We're like, what's going on? Coach is like, I just got word it started raining outside. All the games in the camp are canceled except for our game. Everyone's coming inside to watch us. So now, like, the entire basketball world is watching. And after the timeout, I got a rebound and I led a fast break. And usually in basketball, like when you see somebody open that's like really far away on the other side of the court, we throw like what we call a baseball pass or a chest pass over the defense. But because of my dyslexia, I could see angles that other people couldn't see. And instead of throwing a traditional pass that everyone was expecting, threw the ball behind my back in between the defenders all the way to the other end of the court. My teammate caught it and he dunked it in and the place went crazy. Yeah, did you see what that Jewish kid just did? What an amazing pass. And there's a saying in Judaism that like God could change everything in the blink of an eye.
Yeshua's
Hashem
Hashem
keref
Keref Ayin, in
ayin,
the blink of an
an
eye.
eye. And I think that's like a really great thing to meditate on, that like everything could totally change. Like here I am, nobody believes in me. I got like zero chance of getting a scholarship. They think I'm like lost. And in 1 second, in one pass, everything changed. And by the end of that week, I already had 7 Division I scholarships. And I think it's something to keep in our brain, that like is people are dream chasing, they're chasing their dreams. We have to do everything possible to go ahead and chase our dreams. And it's great to dream big.
Right.
I love dreaming. And if there's a lot of challenges along the way, it's good to keep in your brain that like in 1 second, this whole thing could change better than I could ever even imagine.
So the Jewish Jordan is sitting across the table from me. I have been called some things in my life. One was the Queen of Kosher or the Kosher Rachel Ray. I loved it. I was like, pass the crown. Is this for you a compliment or a source of pressure?
I didn't like being nicknamed the Jewish Jordan as a child. I was 16, 17.
Yeah.
Comes with a lot of pressure because like in the locker room, a lot of times the camera is only looking at you in your locker instead of other players. You arrive to away games and like you could almost hear the other players saying, "Where's the Jewish Jordan?" Puts like a big target on your back, or at camps, like at a lot of the elite camps. Um, and also it didn't like really fit my personality. I was just a simple kid that loved basketball. And then by age 17, I was ranked the 25th best player in the country, and it just like exploded.
And the first player ever to play Division I
Uh,
basketball while keeping the Sabbath.
Getting a Division I
Yes.
scholarship without playing on Shabbat or any Jewish holidays. I still don't think it's ever happened
No,
before or after.
the first and only.
Yeah, believe so.
Right.
But I always tried to play for a higher purpose, even as a younger kid. And that kind of helped me shield a little bit because I realized it wasn't about me. It was about something bigger than myself.
Right.
So that helped me a little bit during the good times and the more challenging times.
Right.
So if I was being called the Jewish Jordan, like how can I use that to maybe inspire someone else? And every year as I got older, I tried to do that more and more.
Mhm.
And that's like that's just one small example of how Judaism helped me. Like
Yeah.
people say like Judaism got in the way of you reaching your dream. No, Judaism helped me every single part. And that was one of it, is like learning how to play for a higher purpose.
Right.
Because when you learn how to play for a higher purpose, you're almost never satisfied. You're not playing for your ego. Like
Right.
if you had a bad day or whatever it is, like you can't get down. You got to pick yourself up. It's not about you. It's about something bigger than yourself. If you just won the championship and you were on fire and everything's great, you can't be satisfied. You got to get back in the gym
Yeah.
because it's not about you. It's something bigger than yourself. So that's just like one example of how Judaism helped me, and also helped me deal with the Jewish Jordan.
The Jewish Jordan is like a double pressure because, first of all, obviously living up to Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, then also the Jewish side being a representative of like the Jewish people. Like, did you ever feel like I might be someone's only representative of the Jewish people, a representation of what a Jew looks like? Or are you carrying the weight of the community and the Jewish world on your shoulders?
Oh, that is such a great question. Okay, so let's start like with the Michael Jordan part, with the
Yeah.
emotional part. Like we loved, like my generation, Michael Jordan
Yeah.
more than anyone could ever imagine nowadays, because there was no social media back then.
Exactly.
So like if Michael Jordan did something,
We idolize them because
it
we never saw
you
the
could
other side.
right. Well, it's like on a basketball thing, like because they only saw the possession once, maybe you saw the replay once,
Uh-huh.
it had to penetrate your mind and your body. You couldn't go on YouTube and watch the possession again or go on
More
social media.
interesting.
So it penetrated all the way into your mind and your body. What did I just see? I'm going out there, and Michael Jordan's in my imagination and in my brain and in my mind and in my heart, and I'm working on that move that I just saw. I specifically remember 1991, like when he came down the lane, like right hand, switched it to left hand. Second, like I went down to my backyard and I'm like right to left, and you couldn't see it again. Like, so it lived within you on such a high level, where today, like social media, you get bombarded with a million different stories a day. It affects you, but maybe not as much as like back then when you saw it once and like it was.
Right.
So
The
Michael
overload
Jordan, yeah,
doesn't allow you to process and
right. It
hold.
processed that.
Yeah.
It penetrated us so deeply. Like
That's a
Michael
great
Jordan was
point.
everything to me on such a
Yes.
deep level. So there was that one part. And then what you're saying is like,
Can I just say one more thing though?
Yeah.
Like they were icons, like our celebrities, they were idols because there was no social media. So you never saw a vulnerable side of them. They never overexposed themselves. Their images were so well curated. So even both on the court and off the court, it like represented something different than what a celebrity stature represents today.
1,000,000%. And then like
The Jewish side.
the Jewish side, like the media, like I one time had 700 requests in 1 week when I was like 17 years old. I'm talking about like the biggest media, like Jerry Seinfeld did a full skit about me on Saturday Night Live, and ABC and NBC and CBS
And
and
Sports Illustrated and
Sports Illustrated.
ESPN, yeah.
I remember one of the most famous news personalities in American history.
I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm
Yeah,
waiting
I'm
for
not
it.
gonna say his name
Okay.
though. Came to my house, and I had already been educated, hurt a little bit, very uncomfortable with all the media, and he said something to me about comparing my story to Moses, and I didn't answer the question. And he said, "You're a perfect athlete for the 90s," and walked out of my house. And I just like knew that like already by then, like if this it's like I'm already called the Jewish Jordan. Like if people start saying like Moses and my Judaism, like I'm not gonna be able to like, well, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I just can't answer this question. I just can't do it. Like I'm
Right.
not a Torah scholar. I'm a struggling teenager. Like I'm just trying to be a proud Jewish basketball player, and I can't do this. And he stormed out of my house, and he made me feel terrible. Like I didn't want to feel like a mean person. I just didn't want to get hurt again. So yeah, it was a lot. It was like on the basketball side,
Yeah.
and then also on the Jewish side. But um, yeah, like my inner circle was really great, like with coach and my family and my grandmother and my shul and my rabbi and all that. But anytime you're like trying to be the first person to
Mm.
do something, you're gonna have to like go through a lot of things that nobody ever thought. And to me, like kids thrive on consistency.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have consistency because people didn't really know what to do with me,
Yeah.
right? Whether it was like different schools or different teams or different coaches and some really bad situations that I had to go through, and different things where I had to leave and wasn't things that were promised to me that weren't ended up going into fruition. Like because you're the first, you're kind of a lot of times like pushed away, and that was very hard to deal with. Um, yeah, that was like I would say the most challenging thing because you get bit a lot. You get bit, and then sometimes it's from people that you never thought would ever bite you, or the people that you felt should have been the most welcoming to you, and you have to go through all that in a public uh thing where people don't even know what happened, or writing about you in the paper sometimes the next day, calling you weak and things like that when they weren't even there. That was like a very, very challenging thing for me to go through. And those were like some of the moments where I was like the most broken, that I really needed to learn how to pick myself up from. But looking back now, I'm so happy that Jewish athletes are flourishing, and a lot of the things that I went through, I'm now seeing like I went through them exactly that way to help kids or players, Jewish athletes that are going through the exact same thing now,
Yeah.
and seeing that their path is a little smoother. I'm not in any way saying I'm taking credit for any of this, and I'm not. I'm just saying like because God is past, present, and future, I can now look back at certain situations, and I get daily calls from athletes and say, I know exactly how to help you. I know what your mindset needs to
Right.
be, and I know what steps you need to take. And some of the wounds that really hurt me when I was younger are closing up with like a big hug now, because it makes me feel really good to help people that are going through a similar thing that maybe I went through them, just to be able to help them all these years later.
To me, I see your eyes like getting a little bit
Yeah.
teary thinking about it. And I wouldn't normally push, but you gave us permission to
Yeah.
ask about it. So let's talk about that incident. You went to you got the Division I scholarship.
Yeah.
You were promised that you would not have to play on Shabbat. Talk about the coach and what happened then eventually that day that escalated to that day in the locker room. Like let's get into the details.
Yeah, some of the like I could highlight some of the situations that led up to that, of being like when you are the first and trying to do something that's like so different,
Yes.
right? So it's like first it's like I think the first time it happened really was like in 8th grade when one of my educators was like, I was out on the basketball court, and he was like, you know, maybe God doesn't want you to play basketball, you know, like he said this, like, where are you really going to get with this? You're spending too much time on it. Like that was like the first big bite. I was able to bounce back from that. And
Did you ever call him up and say, look at me now?
nah, that wasn't so much my style. But then like my school that I loved so much and my friends that I always grew up with and my coach, and we were literally making history on the basketball court. The school basically asked me to leave if I wanted to continue playing basketball at the end of 11th grade.
Why?
Because it was just too overwhelming. It was like the first time going through it. Like the gym is too small. There's thousands of people. Kids can't focus on school. Um, it
It
was
was a
just it was
distraction.
too much. It was just like, too much media, too much everything. But like on the other hand, like it's very hard to leave your best friends in your school for 12th grade.
We were just talking about kids and consistency in school. And
Right.
if the kids are thriving, don't move them. We're talking about that off
Exactly.
camera.
And trying to find a new school just for 12th grade. That was a hard process. But I ended up going to a predominantly African American Christian school, Seventh-day Adventist school. Seventh-day Adventist meaning they don't play on Shabbat either.
Right.
And that was very hard of a transition at first, because I remember when coach came to our first home game and I saw him in the layup lines, and I left the layup lines and I started crying on his shoulder. I'm like, Coach, what am I doing here? Like, I'm supposed to be playing for you, like back at school and graduating with.
I have the chills again.
Yeah.
I can't take this
Yeah.
interview.
He has good shoulders though. Like I've cried a lot on his shoulders. They're big shoulders. And he just said, you can't cry right now. You got to pick yourself up and go out there and play well. And I did. And it ended up being a blessing for me. Great friends, great school till today, great players.
Wow.
But that was like another time where like, yeah, you know,
You
it's
felt like
like
abandoned.
yeah. I could even remember like someone like finding out, someone telling my mom that like, you know, people weren't too happy with that decision. Like, you know, where I ended up playing and
Of course.
things like
People
that.
judge.
Right. And that my mom was like hard for her to go to the supermarket and stuff. And like people were saying things to her, but she always had my back.
Ugh.
She
Jewish
still
mamas are
does.
the
Yeah.
best. We're
She always had
strong.
my back. Thank God. And then after that, after high school, I was supposed to originally play at the University of Maryland. They
Right.
did say that they were going to try to accommodate me. And it was good. I started training there, great friends, great coaches. It was more than a dream come true. They were they won, that was a team that won the national
To be at
championship.
University of Maryland, it's
Right.
like only in your dreams.
And then coach called me in and he's like, look, if you want to stay and play here, you can, you have a scholarship, but based on how we see things moving forward, you're going to have to play on Saturday if you want to play here. And I said, Coach, look, I love this team. It's my dream team, but for Jewish people, Shabbat, Sabbath is more important than basketball.
Yeah.
Gave back the scholarship.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah. They won the national championship. I'm still very close, very, very close with that program. I was just there
Did
a
you
couple weeks ago.
feel angry and hurt? I'm obviously felt hurt, but were you like, it's like a bait and switch? Like you went in, everyone knew who you were and
Right.
what your
I don't think I was feeling that. I just felt like my mom was with me in the meeting, and I just knew that Shabbat was non-negotiable. Like you say, Shabbat for Jewish people is like everything. And I just walked down to center court with my mom. We stood at half court. The arena was empty. I said, Ima, Mom, like I'm never gonna play here. And I walked out. But like I said, I still love the program. I'm still very close with the program. One of
Yeah.
my great friends, she's playing there right now for Maryland. I love the University of Maryland. Just we believe everything's divinely ordained. I wasn't supposed to play there. They ended up winning the national championship, and then Towson University ended up changing schedule for me. And like that is beyond beating the odds. Like that is such a miracle. You're talking about flights, TV contracts, game scheduling.
It's something you couldn't even dream up if you were thinking about what's your like dream. You'd think, okay, I'm going to have to sit out of those games. Not that the schedule would be changed for you.
It's still unbelievable that these guys and these coaches, none of them are Jewish, would go so far out of their way. It's almost impossible to go to a Division I scholarship. And put on top of that you can't play on the Jewish holidays. And I was gonna wear my kippah.
And there's so many of them, by the way.
Yeah,
We can go on a party.
it's like, yeah, and you're talking about millions of basketball players that are trying to get a scholarship, and to do that and still change the schedule. So, like by the time I got to Towson and I got my first start against Villanova, like the third game of freshman year, and like I just remember feeling like, wow, so many times I've been, I don't want to say pushed away, but like
Told no.
been the first person to go through
Yeah.
this. So that like you're going through all this crazy roller coaster, right? But I'm here. I'm
You made
living
it.
my dream. I made it. And when my coach got fired after my freshman year, and they hired a coach that took all that away from me after all those millions of hours in the gym and that whole roller coaster. That was I couldn't that was too much for me. That was too much for me. That knocked me down,
And what happened in the
emotionally.
locker room that fateful night?
Yeah, I was even before what happened in the locker room, I had warned the athletic director of what was going on, and he put his hand on my hand. He's like, "I can assure you everything's gonna be fine moving forward." And then in the
And
locker
what did
room,
you warn him of exactly? What did you
I
say?
said, like, I'm trying to do everything here to make it work with the new coach, and the coach doesn't want me. Like, I could see he doesn't want me. I told him X, Y, and Z what was going on, and I tried to meet with coach personally, and it took a lot of courage at that age to bring coach to the athletic director and say, I don't want to talk about coach behind his back. Like what
Yeah.
coach taught me. Coach
Right.
Cass taught me at a young age. Like, you got to be able to face it.
Yeah.
And I did that. I brought him just at a table like
Yeah.
this, and I told him what was happening, and he said everything was gonna be fine, and it wasn't fine afterwards. Because very soon after that meeting, like, in the locker room, coach, like, assaulted me with a chair really badly. I just thank God the police were there, the campus police were there, and they busted in the locker room, they took me to the police station, and I never played another game of college basketball in my life. Everything that I worked for was felt at the moment was taken away from me, and that was I left. I was broken. I had a great roommate, Muhammad, Muslim basketball player. Like, I went from being in an all Jewish school to graduating from Army after in Christian school with like amazing, and now Muslim player who I love, Muhammad, my best friend. Like, I left Muhammad, left the team. They told me I could stay on scholarship and not have to play because but that I
Who
just
wants to
went
stay
home.
there?
Yeah, I was broken, and I really lost myself. And then I don't know how one day, maybe it was like 3 or 4 months or 5 months afterwards, I just said, "You know what? Like, okay, I can't understand why this happened to me. I can't. Like, I can't. I can't. But like losing who I am and letting somebody else take me away from my mission in life doesn't make sense to me. Like, I one thing that makes sense to me is that God is investing in everybody that he brings to this world. He chose their soul to bring down to this world, and he's giving us 60 trillion cells or whatever it is,
Yes.
believes in us. I can't let someone take that away from my mission, as hard as this hurts.
Correct.
And I got myself back in shape, and I came back stronger than ever emotionally and physically, like, from this whole situation, even though subconsciously it always still hurt me. And I chose to be happy, like my grandmother said.
Yeah.
And when I got the call from Israel, from Maccabi Tel Aviv, to say, "Hey, you want to come play professionally in Israel?" I was ready. Like,
Right.
I was in the best shape of my life.
And you never
My
thought
life.
of calling them first, or like how did that? Because like, was it ever a dream? Was it on your radar? Or you were so focused
I was just
domestically.
so focused on getting myself back in shape
Yeah.
and coming back physically, spiritually. Like, I was just training and training and training and training, and I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna come back better than ever. And when I got the call, I was ready, like mentally and physically and spiritually and stronger than ever. And thank God I did really great at the tryout, signed the contract, and moved to Israel, which is a huge blessing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Tamir, you're a man of faith, obviously. We've both been speaking about this. And I know that you learned from your grandmother to be happy and to make that choice. But for those 3 months, like, you said when you were really broken, did you question God? Are you looking for why did this happen? You know, uh, to blame the coach, we believe in Judaism, everyone,
Right.
obviously they have free choice, but some people are also were chosen to be messengers. And sometimes there were messengers for good and messengers for bad. So obviously he did something horrible
Right.
and he is absolutely 100% guilty, but he was also a messenger. We say shaliach in Hebrew. So do you think like, what message is God trying to send to me?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to learn from this? And God, why are you doing this? Do you question God?
I didn't question the existence of God, but like, I definitely like was very, very hurt, very hurt. And, and it was like, again, then people writing about what happened in the locker room that weren't there.
Yeah.
Uh, that like all that was just like too overwhelming for me. Um, Things were really different back then. Like, you just couldn't like I kind of maybe just held it in too much. I don't know, and couldn't express like how hurt I was. And yeah, I was so broken. I quit basketball. I looked in my closet like I didn't want to wear anything with basketball. my identity, everything was emotionally, like, I was shattered, but I always knew God was there. I was just hurt, really hurt. And I would say, like, the next whole part of my life, ever since started picking myself up, was in an increasing manner that I still do every single day, try and to grow with my faith and be a messenger for God in an increasing manner and learn how to do that inner work. It's the
Yes.
constant inner work of trying to be a better person, being a channel for God, like you say. And I'm almost 44, made a billion mistakes and still do every single day, but I'm feeling closer to God than ever.
Right.
And I'm really, really proud of my inner work. And every struggle along the way, like for a long time, I thought God was really mad at me. That took me a long time to learn, to really understand faith more and have a really, really beautiful relationship with God. It's a lot of inner work, but it's so worth it because there's no better way to live. There's no happier way to live. There's no more meaningful way to live. And
Yeah.
there's also no like better way to like maximize who you are as a person and as a
Yeah.
husband and as a father or athlete or
Yeah.
whatever you
Citizen
are
of
in
the
life.
world.
Yeah, citizen in the world. Yeah. So
Do you see your life as sort of act one and act two? Like when you move to Israel, you come to Maccabi Tel Aviv, is this like, your second, the second
yeah.
coming?
Yeah. I actually think I'm that coupled with my knee injury,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more proud of the second part of my life than I am the first part of my life. Because the
Interesting.
first part of my life, I was like flying. I was just flying on the
King
court.
of the
I
world.
was flying like say like how do you know like when you play well, like or a musician or like when you don't even know you played.
Yeah.
It's like you're just a channel and like you're making shots that like it's just like a flow. It's like you don't even know.
Yeah.
Like that's what happened when I was younger. God was just like carrying me on the court and I was doing things that were like unbelievable. And the second part was just like everything I went through with I do what I just mentioned, and then losing my knee, like at the height of my career, and then bouncing back from all of that and like kind of like taking me to where I am now. I'm a lot more proud of the second part than I am of the
Yeah.
first part.
So when you lost your knee, you were in the locker room, you called your wife.
Yeah.
Like, what does that conversation look like? Sound
Yeah.
like?
Well, first of all, thank God I had her to
Chills
call.
again.
I had her to
Tamir, I
call.
can't
'Cause
take it.
if I didn't have her to call, I
Wow.
don't know what would have happened to me or how it would have
I
turned
love
out.
Judy already, and I never met
Yeah,
her yet.
yeah. Thank
Like, I
God.
never met her.
Yeah, and
But I wanna
she's
meet her. I'm saying,
yeah,
"Oh,
we'll
play
make
that
it
of yours."
happen.
Okay. Judy and Jamie, they need to meet.
We gotta do it. It only takes 1 second and you'll see like, "Oh my God."
I love her already, I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
yeah. She's an angel.
So you call
I
her.
call her and I said, "God doesn't want me to play anymore. Like, I've tried everything and I physically can't play anymore. Like, I've tried everything, every surgery, every physical therapy, everything." And she just gave me the greatest message ever. She said, "Don't worry, you're gonna do the same thing, but you're just gonna be wearing a different uniform." And as I told you earlier, like, I always try to play for a higher purpose.
Yes.
So she connected me right to that. Like, what does God want from me? Like, instead of like, what am I always wanting from God? And if I'm playing for like a higher purpose, yeah, maybe all I want to do is score a lot of points. But maybe God is saying, hey, I need you to like go train special needs kids. I need you to like think of basketball products that are going to help the next generation of players.
Or travel the world as an inspirational
Uh,
speaker,
Right.
changing people's lives.
And when she told me that, I was like, it really is the same thing. There's no disconnect here.
Yeah.
And
I
just
just
gonna wear
wanna
a
repeat
different
what you
uniform.
said. You said, um what do I want from God, but what does God want from me?
Yeah.
Too often, even those of us that pray and are very connected and like faith, people of faith, we think of God as an ATM machine, or we've got our long laundry list of all the things we want. We're going shopping and check, check, check. But you're saying, what does God want from me?
Right.
It's like a mindset shift.
And that's been the whole second part of my journey in an increasing manner every day, understanding what does God want me to do through basketball for him really to better the world through the game.
We cut to Judy before we got the love story of how you met
Yeah.
her. Can you tell us, like, you met and married here in Israel?
Got met and married here in Israel. I was actually playing for Maccabi Tel Aviv when I first got here. and I got traded. Everybody knows that like Maccabi Tel Aviv is like the best team in Israel and obviously a powerhouse in Europe as well.
Yeah.
So when I got traded, it seemed like a really bad thing because you're going from like the best dream team to not the best dream team. And I also lost a lot of money on that contract at a young age. But I got to a new team, and this new team was near a very famous hospital in Israel called Sheba, Tel HaShomer
Yeah,
Hospital.
of course.
And this was during the second Intifada when I got here. And unfortunately, there was a lot of kids that were wounded by terrorist attacks. So National Service called me up and they said, you know, these kids read about you in the paper. You're now near the hospital. Can you come visit the kids?
I
And
have chills again. When I think the kids, oh, I love
I
it.
said, sure, I'd love to. I don't know where I am. I just moved here. If you can make arrangements. So the lady that was like making arrangements, she was telling me all about it and she was going to bring something over. She's like, do you mind if I bring my friend along? And I said, sure. So she brought her friend along and her friend explained to me, she's like, I'm very similar to you. I just made Aliyah and I'm studying here and I'm volunteering because I had these athletic scholarship opportunities in America and they wanted me to compete on Shabbat. And I told them that Shabbat's more important than athletics. And I said, you know, we have the same story. Is there any way we could get married?
I was literally like,
Yeah.
did you propose right there?
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
2 weeks later, we got engaged. And thank God we have 5 incredible kids, an
Unbelievable.
amazing son-in-law,
Unbelievable.
and we're gonna have, like I said, our 22nd
Yeah.
anniversary. But I seemingly like lost everything up until that point, like going back to God. Like I lost my Division I scholarship because what happened in the locker room. I just lost the biggest contract of my career. And it just seemed like God was taking me down the wrong way on a one-way street.
Yeah.
But yet then I ended up finding my absolute biggest
He was
blessing
actually
in the
leading you
world.
exactly to the biggest blessing.
Exactly. And I think this is something we need to remember during challenging times is that
Yeah.
like we have to zoom out. I know our mind just wants to see like right now at the moment what we understand. We have to remind ourselves of like God sees past, present, and future, and there's a bigger plan out there. And we just have to like have faith during those times that like there's a really good chance we're one step closer to our blessing instead of thinking that we're going down the wrong way on a one-way street.
I mean, but it's so hard. You're basically saying just hold on, but it's so hard to hold on. And especially if you're going through something that either increasingly gets worse or is just lasting for a long time.
Exactly.
How do you have the strength to hold on?
It's so hard. And the only two things is that we could say is like our mind can't understand it. Just because we can't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist, you know? And there's just so many moving parts. Like I would like thinking about it now, like I wouldn't really want to serve a God that I understood every single thing that God was doing, right? Like the whole element of faith comes in where like you don't really understand. And you have to like try to tell ourselves that like, and this is like what I try to do is like, there's a bigger picture here. Somehow there's some type of good here and some type of growth. In the meantime, like every effort that I'm putting in, there's a growth, whether I'm growing emotionally, physically, spiritually, even if it isn't the blessing that I was hoping for, there's something along the way. And then also to like say, I think it's really healthy to say that like it's gonna be okay. At the end, it's going to be okay. Like things that's like really coming. Like I wish I would have known that like during my hardest times, like everything's gonna be okay. Like you're gonna reach your dreams on the court. You're gonna have an incredible family. It's like it's to remind yourselves it's going to be okay. And I think like that's what I do a lot of times now is like I tell other people they're going there, it's gonna be okay. Like let's like reframe everything here. Let's do everything we can in our power.
Yeah.
Like that's another part. We have to do every single thing in our power to make it work or to
Yes.
get what we're trying to accomplish. At the same time, combine it with prayer and positive thoughts and faith and lots of good deeds. And it's like an
like a whole
all
training regimen.
along. It's like a whole training regimen that's like daily. And all I could do is just like hope and pray that everyone hears only good news and has blessings in their lives.
Amen to
Yeah.
that. Can I tell you, my dad is not religious at all. And his most favorite line is, it's going to be okay. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be okay. That's how he gets off the phone with me for, over 4 decades. It's going to be good. It's going to be okay. And I used to get so annoyed with him. And I used to sometimes scream or cry. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. The world is coming to an end. Now that I have worked more on my faith muscle, I actually, for the first time, said to him the other day on the phone, you know what? Like that line is helping me. It's so deep and spiritual. And I always thought he was just saying it like because he was a throwaway. He didn't know what to do with me. Like he didn't know how he could help me. Like he's not religious. Like he doesn't, this lifestyle is so foreign to him, and he's just like kind of like poo pooing it as he's like throwing away. But it's so deep and it's so real. And I was like, wait, Dad, you've been telling me what I need to hear all along. Like this is the most powerful faith lesson I could have right now.
Yeah, I also like in Hebrew, like imun, which means workout
Yeah.
training regimen, is the same word as emunah, faith. And the more we practice that muscle, and like in running, like I say, attack the hill, like just get better at that muscle, get better at it, and do everything in their power, like try all that inner work. It gets better, it gets easier, and you just become a much better person because like you're more positive, you can uplift the people around you. You get much better at like not feeling resentment, not feeling jealousy.
Yes.
You like learn how to make healthier decisions. You understand like where the good decisions are coming from, where the bad decisions are coming from, the better side of my heart, the worst side of my heart. And like you just make healthier decisions and you could also help other people. And it takes a lot of inner work, but it's worth it.
Yeah. Can I tell you, I would say I'm going through something right now, but that wouldn't be true. I'm going through some things right now. Okay, like multiple things. And there's a concept in Judaism that we spoke about a messenger. And I feel like you're saying exactly what I needed to hear. I just want to say for everyone who's watching now, who's hearing you, you're obviously talking to them and they're watching this because it's exactly. They were sent. God is speaking through you, exactly what they need to hear right now. So I
Exactly.
love that power that you're giving all of us.
Yeah. Was I put in the situation or was I sent in the
Yeah,
situation?
right.
And when you see that you were sent, you have like superpowers because like you're on a mission. And yeah, these are some of the concepts that like I work on and think about every single day. Um, and it's really special to talk to them
Yeah.
here, especially.
Tell us, so we're staying here. We're in Israel.
Yeah.
So you move to Israel, you meet Judah, you decide to live your life and have your family here. Talk about what living in Israel means to you and what your life looks like and what it feels like living here, even more importantly.
Yeah. So we've been here now, for over 20 years, and every single day feels incredible. It never feels like routine or mundane. It's like, it's just, you feel so empowered here. You feel like you're so close to God here. You feel like you
Yes.
could accomplish anything
Yeah.
here. There are a lot of challenges, but the challenges I think help you realize what is important in life, what isn't important
Yeah.
in life, prioritize things.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just such a blessing to be here. I couldn't imagine living anywhere else.
Correct.
And
Same.
also, like, I feel like the kids here too understand that and the way they see life.
Yeah.
They see a lot of things. It's very challenging. It's very hard, but like their relationship with God is so authentic. Their relationship with the world is so authentic. They're not as blinded by some of the glitz and glamour and falsehoods of the world because of where they live. And I think as like parents in Israel, just need to try to be like good examples and like work on ourselves as much as possible. And then that will help the kids live their best lives because they see and hear things here that most people in the world don't have to.
Yeah.
They're running the bomb shelters.
Correct.
They're the
That live a whole lifetime they never experienced.
yeah, the Iranian war, the war with
Yeah.
Iran, like that was a really hard time to be here.
October 7th.
October 7th, like, and I just feel like from a parent's perspective, the more they see us working on ourselves and fixing what we need to fix,
Yeah.
the more it will empower them to flourish and be really happy
Yeah.
in a country that sees very challenging times.
It's interesting because I always say I love living here. I would never live anywhere else. It's such a privilege. We spoke before here. I don't take it for granted. Not that I live here, not that I work here.
Right.
But I also feel very strongly and agree with you that this is the only place I would want to raise my kids, even with everything that you just said and everything they have to be exposed to and go through. You have 3 kids in the Army, 2 kids and a son-in-law. I mean, that's not a simple thing.
It's not a simple thing. Sometimes my daughter is like the deputy of strategic communications
It's like unbelievable at 21 years
at
old.
21 years old. And
When
just
she
like,
comes out, she wants a job in the communications department. I got her
Sure.
here at Aish.
and just like seeing her, just for example, where it's like Friday night, Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, like around the clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. She has to be absolutely be on her A game with so much pressure on her shoulders. And just to see how she handles it at age 21, it's, I can't believe my eyes. My son-in-law, same thing. Like, he had everything going for him. He already had his master's degree. Like, why would anyone stop and then like go into the army and like do what he's doing in the army? And like, look at my son, who's like a very, very talented basketball player. He could have totally been playing college basketball in America right now.
Right.
Like, no
Did
doubt.
you give him that offer?
He, not me,
Like,
other
but I meant,
coaches.
did you support him in that? Were you like,
So
we totally support you if that's the
I
decision you want
always
to make?
tell,
That's what I mean
we
by that.
always tell my kids exactly what our parents told us: is you can do anything you want in this world. We're here to support you and love you. Just try to make us sanctify God through whatever it is you choose to
Yes.
do. But like, looking at the decisions they're making. So like, going back to what we just said, like on the one hand, you could say like, okay, like what? Like, but on the other hand, like they're making heroic decisions. Like
Real life heroes.
real life heroes, where they're like putting themselves aside for the betterment of others. And, coming from Holocaust survivors and
Yeah.
all that, and post October 7th,
Yes.
I could say we're winning. Our kids are winning. They took the messages. We took the messages from our grandparents, and now our kids post are taking the same messages of like, we're going to move forward. We're going to be okay, and we're going to do every single thing we can with a lot of faith and hard work to make sure that happens. And we're just like so proud of them. And so I'm also just like so proud of Israel. I'm so proud of us. I'm like, we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be better than we can ever even imagine.
Yeah, we're gonna be more than okay.
Exactly.
We're gonna be great.
Yeah.
We are great.
We're doing it. We're doing
we're
it.
great
We're
now.
doing
Actually,
it.
that's really the message.
We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. And that's really what gives us hope, is like the exact thing that our history taught us and our grandparents taught us, and how we reacted to all the pogroms and all the Holocausts and everything with faith and our culture. We're
Yes.
ferociously like obsessed with like, I used to not understand like, why are we so obsessed with like times and dates, like what time we left Egypt, what we were eating when we left Egypt,
like-
what happened with all the Jewish stories. But it's like, you see like the falsehoods of the world and how quickly things get turned around. But we've been ferociously loyal with time, dates, and understanding who's on the good side, who's on the bad side, what our job is, and how we're going to create a dwelling place for God
Yeah.
through goodness and kindness and mitzvah, good deeds. Like, even when all this is going on, and that's always been the way we react,
Yeah.
and that's how we're continuing to do it.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see. It's an amazing time to be alive.
Yeah, coming full circle, we spoke about consistency before, continuity. We always have been doing it, are doing it, and will be doing it.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So, people our age, I would say, wake up some days and they're like, this is not what my life was supposed to look like. This is not what I planned. How do you feel when you wake up?
Well, subconsciously, for some reason, at night, it hits me the most, like when I'm sleeping, is like my mind always goes back to basketball. Like, I recently saw like an interview with Celine Dion where she said like,
Oh.
if
I'm like so emotional. It's tragic.
right,
Yeah.
she was saying how like, if I can't sing, then I'm almost like, it's like, so like,
Is it worth living?
right. Maybe you saw the interview, right? So like, subconsciously, like when I'm sleeping, it's like, I'm like, shots that I missed in my career are like, how did I miss that shot? Like, or how did I lose that game? Or like, how did I not play longer? Or like, goes back to like the physical side of basketball. So like,
I'm thinking
that's
about tests I forgot to study for, and then I didn't study or
right.
whatever. That's
So it's like,
interesting.
it that is like in the back of my brain. But like my self work and everything that I worked on, like I wake up fired up to win the day. Like, even though that's there, like, and I love every day, and I'm excited, and I'm thankful for it, and I'm so thankful for my family and to be here and the work that I'm involved in, and I'm winning every day. Like, I love every day. I'm fired up, but it really starts with like how I start my day, which is like my prayer, my workout, and my study of Torah. Um, and then I love every second. I'm thankful for every second. Yeah,
I feel the same way.
you know.
When we talk about holding on, it's also a great message to say everything can change in the blink of an eye. So even though it seems like you've been holding on for so long and you don't know, you can't see the end, you don't need to see it, because in the
Right.
blink of an eye,
Yeah.
God can change everything in the blink of an eye.
It's very calming to think that. Like, I think about that all the time. Of like, there are the rules of this world, but God's in this world, but he's also above this
Yeah.
world. And
He
it's
works above
just
the laws of
very,
nature,
very
above the
healthy
rules,
to think
correct?
that. Very healthy to have that in your heart and soul throughout the day.
Yeah. Especially if I can't imagine the solution, that's not for me to imagine. It's for God to, figure out the path toward a solution. Sometimes you can't see a way out of something,
Right.
but you don't need to because you have the creator of the universe figuring out that solution for you.
And going back to thankfulness, like, I always think about, like, how many things in my life happened that, like, were above nature. How many job opportunities? How many
Yeah.
speaking engagements? How many
Yeah.
possessions on the court? How many
Mhm.
people did I meet?
Right.
How many times
How
did
many
I
records
meet
did you break? I'm saying, like,
how many people did I meet that there was no reason for me to meet? They have nothing to do with basketball, but yet out of us meeting, something else came out amazing for someone else. Like, these are all things that are, like, above nature, and I think it's good to remember those moments, and when we think of thankfulness, like, go back to that because it helps you during the challenging
yeah,
times. Uh,
unbelievable. That's why I invited you on to No Reservations. I knew we'd have a great meeting of the minds.
Thank you. You're
So,
doing amazing work, and, God should continue to bless you with all the amazing things that you're doing.
amen, amen. As we say, he who blesses shall be blessed right back at you.
Amen,
Thank you,
amen.
Tim.
Zat
Thank you
Hashem.
so much.
Thank you.
You know what hit me most about this conversation? It wasn't basketball, or the pass, or the Division I offers, or even the love story between Tamir and his gorgeous wife, Judy. It was the way Tamir talks about control. Not control like power, control like discipline. Choosing a schedule so the day doesn't consume you. Treating your body like it matters. Learning how to say thank you to the person nobody notices. Training your mind the same way you train to hit that free throw shot. And then there's the other kind of control, when outside forces try to control you, when the world decides who you are before you're old enough to decide for yourself, when people talk about you like you're a symbol instead of a teenager, when strangers write versions of your life that aren't true and you're forced to live inside that noise. Tamir isn't trying to be a legend, yet he manages to live like one. There's a line that kept echoing in the whole episode, that everything can change in the blink of an eye. If this conversation moved you, remember this. Everything can change in the blink of an eye. Yeshua's Hashem K'harif Ayin. God's salvation comes in an instant. While it's true that your darkest moment can transform in a blink of an eye, so too your greatest miracle can arrive in the blink of an eye. The answer you've been praying for, it could come before you finish watching this. It should come before you finish watching this. Say Amen. Stay hopeful. Stay faithful, because your breakthrough is closer than you think. Share this story, because stories like this, they don't spread by accident. They spread when people like you decide they're worth amplifying. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. And thank you for joining us with no filters, no fear, and no reservations. This was Tamir Goodman.